Alrighty, as you can tell by the title, I made $3,000 this past week just trading gold during the Asia session, and like most of my trades were caught around 8 to 9 p.m. So let's get into this very first trade. I start hopping on the charts at around like 7 p.m. So that's like over here where it says 19 o'clock. And I'm looking at this range, right? Like we have this high and we have this low. And then right under it, we have this blue line, which denotes external liquidity. And under that external liquidity, like if price were to reach to that, then like I'd expect us to continue lower or maybe even just have a reversal here. So either way, I want to see price tap into this external liquidity. But once we don't, right, and we start to invert this bearish fair value gap right here, right, we start to immediately just use it to like price higher. And at that point, I'm looking at this small range that's created right here. I initially start off with the long and I just take profits early for like 60. I then try another short down to here. I don't take my profits, which was like over 200. And I then take another long because of this sweep. So the way I'm seeing this is we initially respected this this bearish fair value gap so we can move lower. But once we swept this low, we traded immediately back into the range. So it's kind of showing that we don't have a willingness to go lower. We're leaving these as equal lows for a future date. And basically we do want to come up and take out this high. So basically I do scale into this position. I enter my long right here. Once we respect this after inverting it nicely with like displacement above, breaking this relative high right here to the left, and we displace above it, I see that we respect this fair value gap, and then I start adding to this position when we form this fair value gap, because since we swept this liquidity right here and we're not just trading all the way down back into the range, like back into like discount of this range, right? We don't cross like 50% of this range, so we're still like in the higher portion of the range, and we're still trading higher, and we form a fair value gap after taking this local high. I want to see that fair value gap get respected if we're to accelerate towards this, and so I do see that happen. I take even more partials, so I take two partials here, or not take partials, but I add to this position. I pyramid into it, I scale into it. I add two, I add one on this tap, and then once I see this, I just wanted to see us build more liquidity into going into this move. So just accumulating orders. I add one more partial to this, and by the way, my stop loss is in profit the whole time. So either way, I'm banking on this trade, and basically we do displace nicely. I think I get it exactly on the dot. Yeah, I stopped this position out exactly on the dot at this liquidity, and it's just a beautiful execution for a little over 800, I believe. And you can see I exited fully for 14 micros. I don't really like taking partials on gold, especially because if there's such clean like equal highs, like we create these equal lows, like it's just something I would want to take like fully on. Alrighty, so this is my next trade on the Asia session, and basically right here we have equal highs, right? So we have equal highs all the way up here, and this is, by the way, Tuesday, so the very next day, 17th February, I believe that's Tuesday, yeah. But basically, I see volume start to pick up over here, and then the hourly candle opens, and the hourly candle opens into this large 1 minute fair value gap. And it's also like hell of volume imbalances. I'm just not going to count them. I'm just going to look at the fair value gaps. But basically, we open on the hourly, like you can see, this is 8:01. You can see the time in the bottom of the screen. 8 p.m. we open higher, and then we immediately close lower. So that's to me looking bearish, because we already have this downward displacement, and then we're just forming the top wick on the hourly candle, right? Like if it's a bearish candle, like typically you won't see a candle on the hourly that will just be one full box. You'll also see it have wicks, right? So for what I'm looking at is like, will we form that top wick, or will we just like displace lower? And so basically I wanted to see us form a top wick into a PD array. And that's exactly what we did. We respected this bearish fair value gap very nicely, and that's where I took my trade. And I was honestly just targeting, I was actually targeting a lower low down here. I believe it was a low of this range, but the way we accelerated, I just also expected like a very fast reversal. But if you do take a look at the price I exited, 905.1, you can also see that that's like practically the exact bottom of this. So I caught the bottom, and then you can see right after we just displace. So, and we respect this bearish and this bullish fair value gap, then we invert this bearish fair value gap. It's really clean price action, and honestly, like it doesn't look like it just because of how many volume imbalances there are, but it's very clean. I recommend trading gold Asia session. However, if you do take a look, once this bearish fair value gap gets put in, we do displace lower immediately, which also gives me more confidence. I'm in a full contract And basically I already banked like 300 on NASDAQ this day as well. So this was just another position that could give me like even more money. And it's also more certain for me. This is an hourly fair value gap. And basically it's something that we had respected a lot, but I wanted to see us disrespect it to move towards this. But it's just a safety net to have us mark it out, because you can see right here, we come down, we break like some of these lows. However, a lot of these lows are still intact, but we come up, we manipulate, and we don't have any body closures outside of this. So that's when I get a little bit skeptical, but my stop loss was like at this high, and it was only for like 150 or something. Then my risk to reward was great. It was like 1 to 3 or 1 to 4. So either way, like my position was safe. I had a great entry, and it's exactly what I wanted to see. As soon as we manipulate, we do come back lower, and yeah, I just catch the very bottom. After this low gets taken out, I was willing to just take all of my position off here. However, I just didn't expect that to happen, because of the equal highs that were like looking super clean up here. And you can see that's exactly what we ran to. So actually, if I stayed on my charts a little bit longer, I may have caught a reversal play for even more. However, just catching some of the move, like, I'm just grateful for that. Either way, you should keep your profits, and don't chase price, don't do too much. But you can see how clean this is, though. It's pretty disappointing that I didn't catch the full move, because if I was paper trading it, I certainly would have seen that, but I certainly would have entered. But when you make money, keep your money. That's it. And now this trade, oh man, this is what I caught 2 days ago. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look. Right, we have this low right here, but we also have these equal highs at the top of this range. Now, basically what I'm looking at is, can we come down into this fair value gap right here? I believe this was a 15-minute or an hourly, and we just respected it. We respected it here. And sometimes in gold, what I like to see is putting in equal lows to move higher, but without actually taking out the lows. Like, I actually like to see that on gold. It kind of shows that we're rejecting lows and accepting highs, which means we want to move higher. So basically, my stop loss actually was right here. It was down at this low. It's a very tight stop loss, very tight. But that's why I trusted the gold price action to move higher. Right here, when we tap into this fair value gap. So first off, let me tell you about the initial position. I tried a long off of this like inversion fair value gap on the 5-minute. It didn't work out. I got stopped out for like 100, 200. And then I try another long over here. No. Yeah, I try a long, and then I start to pyramid on this position, and I basically add like a few contracts. I believe I did try a short and then a long, and I exited really fast on the next candle just because I didn't like it. I didn't like it yet. I wanted more confirmation. But basically right here is where I actually entered my full position. No, it was on this candle right here. So I sensed a reversal. I sensed that we aren't going to actually take out this low, and we do want to move towards these equal highs. Also, sorry for like configuring what trade I took for a little bit, but yeah, either way, I do enter long off of this little leg right here. Then once we come down, I enter more partials into this position. I entered 3 partials right here. I even entered some more. And basically the reason why I started a pyramid into this position is because I expected us not to take out this low, and I also expected us to sweep out this very small 1-minute fair value gap right here. And what I mean sweep out, I mean invert it. So as you can see, we inverted it, and then we respected it very cleanly inside of the position. And honestly, like, it was just very smooth sailing from there. You can see, like, once you get the right bias on gold, it's just very clean delivery all the way to the top. And that's exactly what happened. I caught these equal highs, and it's really that simple. And I even had the point of rejection marked out, right, which is just a previous hourly fair value gap. So you can see that we rejected off this fair value gap and came all the way down to sweep out these equal lows, and bang, another trade opportunity missed. But it's a very beautiful thing to see in the charts. Clean price action up, clean price action down. And like, you can certainly catch some of these moves, you can certainly catch some of these moves both ways. It's crazy. The blue line represents gold's all-time highs, and I really expected us to reach all-time highs on gold. So basically last night I was really just looking for bullish price action. I was trying to buy any dip, and you can see right here my executions. This is kind of messy, but basically I had longed, and my stop loss was right here, literally right here. And look what happens. It comes down, taps me, stops me out, and then displaces higher. But don't even worry, because on this displacement leg, there's a 1-minute fair value gap right here, which is where I entered my full position, and I started adding a lot of partials. Basically, we come up, we invert this, we respect it. I bam, bam, bam. All of my entries are in there. Ignore these previous entries. I actually lost 600 trying to catch the move higher. It was a pretty bad loss for no reason, but either way, it was just bullish price action and bullish order flow. I knew this was just going to be disrespected, and I knew it just because of how bullish we are, how close we are to all-time highs, and how the rest of the week had manipulated. So basically, all this price action was really just choppy for no reason. It was just accumulation, and it had stopped me out like very, very unfortunately. But I did re-enter, and I got my lick back. But basically, we respect this fair value gap, this inverted fair value gap, and we displace higher. In the meantime, though, as we respect it, I'm constantly taking partials. I'm adding partials to this position. I'm adding more. I'm pyramiding into this position, and bang, we also have this fair value gap that we struggle to move past. And in this fair value gap, I'm adding more partials. I also kind of drew out like, this is like one of those rare situations where you can actually like kind of see like the Tory trades breakout bullshit. You know what I mean? No diss towards Tory trades, but you can kind of see like how we did have a breakout. And I never use breakout strategies or anything. I only use ICT, but it was just kind of funny because it really did look like a bull flag. You know what I mean? Like a bull flag where you, okay, I don't need to draw it out, but basically you move down and then you move up, whatever. It's just accumulation though. It's really just accumulation. And if you actually take a look right here, this inverted fair value gap gets completely respected to the upside. Although previously it was being disrespected so many times. And also when you respect this fair value gap this many times, and then you also refuse to move lower, it's going to be the most important fair value gap that you need to inverse on the way up. So that was something I paid attention to very much. But basically, once we began to displace higher, I moved my stop loss over here, and then I was in like $200 profit guaranteed, and I was in 22 micros, so I was in very deep on this position. It was kind of to make back to 600 and also make 700 more to like close out the week up 3,000. That was kind of like the magic number for me. I really, really wanted that, and I did get it. Very grateful. You can see the rest of this trade is smooth sailing. We have the change in state of delivery above this series of down close candles, whatever, right here, these three down close candles, change of state of delivery. That's when I move my take profit all the way back up there for plus 548. So I would still be down $50 if this trade came down on me, but I would be up $700 because my total take profit was $1,400 up here where it executed, which is the top of this 15-minute fair value gap, which is also above these equal highs. At the end of the day, bro, everything revolves around equal highs, equal lows, displacement, fair value gaps, everything. All right, and here's the final trade that topped off my $3,600 week. And I took this yesterday, Friday. I know I said this for yesterday several times in this video, but I am recording it like spontaneously. So yeah, let's talk about it. First off, we have a high right over here, and we have a low right over here. So this is the range I'm looking at. I'm also paying attention to these like internal highs and stuff like that. So that's like another thing. But immediately right here, we have a new hourly candle opening. And this hourly candle opens up higher, right? So you can see 7 p.m. hourly candle opens up a little bit higher. And we respect this this bullish PD array, where we disrespect it because we invert it and then we come down, respect it, and then move lower through it. And basically this high keeps intact. So my stop loss is at this high. And so I take the short 5 micros, and then once we come back, retest it, I take another 2. I take like 3 more partials, and basically we come down here, we completely displace through this low, we displace through this low, but right here when we invert this fair value gap right here, that's when I start to get skeptical on this trade. And then even like this is a 15-minute fair value gap, so I really like don't want to see like us go higher. But if we do move higher, I want to see us take out this high once more, and I also want to see us take out this high over here. But my draw on liquidity is still this low, just because we had came and gravitated towards it, but we hadn't taken it out already. So this was all called live in the Discord, by the way, where I told Hardeep, I told him, if we come up, take out 63.8, I want us to immediately draw towards 949. And basically, that's what happened, right? So once this trade had already given me like over $300 profit, I just trailed my stop loss to break even, and it came back up on me. And obviously I was like a little bit disappointed because like I wanted to see the move happen, but I feel like we just weren't ready to be manipulated. We weren't ready to just cleanly displace to this low. We wanted some manipulation. I guess price like desired to manipulate first, so it wasn't going to happen immediately. So basically, truth be told, I was a little bit disappointed, but the way we were respecting this 15-minute fair value gap and the way we swept this low then immediately displaced, like Honestly, I had a lot of exit opportunities for profit on this trade, and it was kind of stupid of me holding it. But the way I saw it is like my stop loss is already at break even, so it doesn't really matter whatever happens with it. But either way, we come up, we take out this high, and now I'm just looking for a reversal. And this is really the sign that showed me that's a reversal. We respect this 15-minute fair value gap right here. That can be extended from all the way over here. It's clearly a point of like resistance for higher price action. Not only do we respect that, but we also immediately displace through this bullish fair value gap, right? And then after we displace through it, what do? We wick it, not once, not twice, but four times basically. And then I look at this low immediately. Once we come here, you can honestly use like this fair value gap, the small one, and you can extend that, but I'm not going to. But basically, I really just I start entering, I start scaling into my position. I enter like 7 micros, I believe, and yeah, then I just put my take profit all the way down here at this low. And I, honestly, like the way price moves so fast, like I could have just held for a little bit longer, but there's also that little bit of skepticism. I didn't want to stay in this trade any longer than I needed to. I wanted to just get out, take my money, and call it a night. You know what I mean? So I took my trade. By the time we displaced through this low, I moved my stop loss to down here, and then basically from there it was just history. You know what I mean? It was a very clean trade, and honestly on gold I've been catching the highs, I've been catching the lows. It's been very good. What I've been paying attention to are those hourly opens. On this trade I paid attention to the 15-minute candle open, and that really helped me too, because we formed the top wick of the 15-minute candle with this, and then bam, displacement. We're already so close to these equal lows right here that yeah, it was just clean. And once we move past the new day opening gap, like the new day opening gap kind of like shows us the draw on liquidity. Like right here we displace through it, bam, draw on liquidity. Right here we displace through it, bam, draw on liquidity. Like there's certain things they have to pay attention to in price. I know I have a lot of boxes up on my chart, but that's kind of like how I analyze like consolidation to see where we're going, like to see which fair value gaps are being disrespected the most during this consolidation, this consolidation, this consolidation. It's really just accumulation. It's price accumulating orders to move in one direction. And this price action on gold was like the cleanest I've seen all week. But I'm not gonna like, obviously you've seen the other trades by now, like in this video, and I saved the best for last. Everything is live in the Discord, and we're streaming every single night on the Asia session, Monday through Thursday. And basically, because obviously there's no Asia session on Friday, but we've been producing great results. And please join the Discord. It's live, it's free, and you can ask us any questions that you have. We're always excited to answer questions and participate in the chat, everything. And yeah, I'll see you in there. Good luck with your trades for the next week. Hope this video helped you, and let's keep going.